Hi everyone, welcome to It's Your Life, Your Way. I'm Jeanette Larsen, your host from Growth Unlimited, and I'm really happy to be here today. We're going to be talking today about the next steps from the last video that I did, where we talked about what the process of self-actualization was. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to use the process of self-actualization to take control of your life. And I'm going to share with you a program that it has an 8-step set of activities that will allow you to take control of your life while pursuing the process of self-actualization so you meet your full potential. Now, this is a combination of things that we've talked about in various videos. Not only does it entail understanding the different levels of Maslow's hierarchy, but it also involves understanding where you are in terms of your own personal development. So understanding what we talked about during the video I did on the 7 habits of transformation, or the 7 stages of transformation, is important. And also, we are going to be talking a little bit about change. And so understanding the different stages of change that we talked about in the video that I did on I forgot the name of the theory, but it's the stages of change theory, the trans-theoretical theory. Anyway, understanding that information is going to help you understand a little bit better how to do the steps necessary to work towards your self-actualization and actually achieve control of your life. So we're going to put all this together, and we're going to go into the different steps that are involved in this process. At the end of the presentation on the steps, I'll join you again, and we'll talk a minute about what we've discovered during this film. Okay, hang on, here we go. The first step is to define the problem you need to address. This means you need to look at it specifically and identify exactly what the problem is, how much difficulty it's causing for you, and whether the pain point has reached the point that it is time for you to do something. Step number 2 involves identifying what the ideal solution to the problem would be. What is it that you'd like to see the end result be? This is a fun part, because this is the stage where you can take a look at any possible chance. Really use brainstorming steps. Whatever solution comes into your mind, jot it down. And then you'll be able to go back later and pick the ones that are the most effective for your purposes. In step number 3, you're going to begin to hone down the appropriate solution that you want to actually employ. You're going to ask yourself what you could do personally to achieve this goal. And when you are looking at those things, look at things that you are willing to do. Because one of the things that I have discovered as I've worked with people over the last many, many years is that they get very, very frustrated when they are not able to achieve the things that they want to do, and yet they never really took a look at things to begin with to see if they were willing to do the things that were necessary to make that happen. So be sure that you are willing, and then we're going to address some of the other issues that will come up in the process of deciding what it is that you actually can. Step number 4 involves checking your values, your principles, and your beliefs. You want to make sure that whatever solution you decide to employ, if you're going to be successful and you're going to take control of your life through this process, you need to be sure that that solution is something that fits the things that you stand for. For example, I recently ran into a gentleman, spent a great deal of time telling me that he wanted to be self-reliant. He wanted to be totally self-supporting, and he wanted to be able to take care of himself. He had made some decisions in the past that had currently made that impossible, and he was currently homeless. One of the things that he mentioned in our conversation was that he believed that it was his right to have the federal government supply his house and his health and his food and everything that he needed to exist. When I pointed out to him that that really didn't fit with what he'd told me about how important being self-reliant was to him, he was a little frustrated. This is an example of how values that you feel that you are living that are important to you don't come out and don't show up in the way that you behave and the things that you say. If you are going to take control of your life, these things need to blend. They need to mesh. You need to walk the walk and you need to talk the talk. So when you do this values check, double check. Make sure that the things that you're considering actually stand your values test. Are you going to show the integrity that's important to you if you choose to do that particular item? In step 5, we're going to test the level of commitment. Are you willing to follow through to the end? Or what is the desire that you have to see whatever change it is that you're looking at happen only to the extent that you want somebody to hear what you say? Or are you actually interested in seeing real change occur? And are you willing to do what is necessary to make it happen? This can be illustrated by many people who get on social media complaining about things that are occurring in their lives, calling people names, and but not really engaging in anything that's actually going to show a real level of effectiveness. It also is identified by people who begin things and then get tired or discouraged. And if this has happened in your life, this is an area that you may need to address and be very, very careful when you're deciding on things you want to do to get the things that you want to have happen in your life, to develop your life so that you have control. Be sure that that willingness to do the job and complete it to the end is there, because that is the way that you do self-actualize and that you gain control of your life. And then in step 6, once you have determined that you are committed, that you do want to follow through and you want to make it happen, you need to make sure that you have the skills necessary to be able to actually make these things occur. And if you lack the skills, if you, for example, don't know the different areas that you can go to make the impact that you want to make, then there's need for change in terms of what you're doing as far as learning what is available and what is an option that you can do. If you need to, in some cases, you may need to return to school. For example, you cannot become a medical doctor without proper education and licensure. And so it's really up to you what you decide to do. But be sure that you have the ability to achieve the result that you desire. If you don't have the ability to do it, take the steps you need to take in order to gain that ability, or make a different selection of what it is you want to do. You're in total control. You have the complete ability to decide the pathway that you want to travel in your process of self-actualization. But you need to be able to be willing to be realistic in what you're able to do and how you're willing to do it, as well as being able to commit to doing the job and completing it to the end. Step number 7, if you have assessed your commitment and your ability and you find that you are in a position where you're able to move forward, the next thing you need to do is set effective and achievable goals towards achieving the end result that you're looking for. Now, effective goals are goals that are achieved. And in our society today, it's very, very interesting because only about 7% of goals that are made at the beginning of a new year, for example, last more than a couple of weeks. People do not know how to set effective and achievable goals. And as a result, they suffer the embarrassment and frustration and loss of self-esteem that occurs when you set a goal and you're really excited about it, and then a couple of weeks into it, you just decide it's too hard. And so one of the things you need to do is make sure that the goals you set are going to meet the test of time, that you are going to be able to do them. Not only do you have to have the skill, but you have to use an established, organized way of proceeding through the process of achieving that goal. And one of the things that we teach at the Growth University is how to do that through the use of SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they can be achieved, they're realistic, it's something that you are going to do, and they're time constrained so that there's accountability. When you use a system like SMART goals, your chances of achieving that goal are far higher. The final step to achieving your goals and being able to make the change and achieve self-actualization is to follow through. Once you have set goals and you're ready and willing and able to go ahead and do them, and you're committed to completing the job, you need to have effective action. You need to follow through. You need to make sure that the things that you choose to do are done, and you need to be accountable for what happens in those. Sometimes things don't go quite the way you want them to, and you need to be willing to take responsibility for the choices that you make. Also, when things don't go the way you want them to, you need to be able to use your innate resilience, that is the ability to change things so that it will work for you. You need to be consistent. You need to keep going on whatever action it is you choose to do in order to make that happen until the work is completed. And finally, you've got to show determination, because not all the time is it easy to achieve these things. So if you are looking at all of these things, you're going to do far better in working towards attaining that highest level development that Abraham Maslow talked about, that of self-actualization. Thanks so much for sticking with us through the entire video. If you use the steps that we outlined in this video, you're going to find that you are able to take more successful control of your life and move forward toward your process of self-actualization. I look forward to seeing how this works for you. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any particular area that you'd like us to delve into a little bit and get you more information about it. Leave it in the comments below. And also, if this video is helpful, subscribe. That way you're going to get notification of new content as it becomes available. If you're interested in more in-depth training or support in helping you achieve the goals of controlling your life and self-actualization, I invite you to join the Growth University and to visit our website at www.growthunlimited.org. I will put both the link for Growth University and for the Growth Unlimited website in the description below this video. I look forward to seeing you. Share this with your friends. Invite them to visit the YouTube channel and join the Growth University with you. Let's make this community one that is very powerful and productive for everyone involved. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.